Hello my art-loving friends! Well, if you thought the last video was exciting where we got to play with hard to find Maggello gouache, then this video is probably going to be equally as exciting because I have a package here that I can't wait to dig into and I want to share it with you guys. In a video, I don't know, probably a month ago, I told you I broke my no-buy on something, and then in the live stream that I did with Annie Noodle, which I will link in the corner for you, I told you what I broke my no-buy on. It was basically 3 items, and this is one of them. Let's end the suspense, get into this package, and play. Alright, I'm just gonna scissor it open. That seems like the easiest thing to do, right? In we go. Bing. Do you guys recognize this handwriting? Oh, I can't wait. Might as well use the scissors again. Oh boy, we have full pans and half pans of watercolor. These are the Prodigal Son's pigments. He had a 30% off sale and I just had to pick some up. Here is a letter. I highly recommend placing the pans in the freezer for 30 to 60 minutes. Oh, that's a lot. Right before you unwrap them. Due to the humid conditions where I reside, many of my paints have become quite sticky, and freezing them will help to prevent the top layer of paint sticking to and being pulled away from the pan when removing the wax paper. Many thanks, Greg. Okay, well let's try one and see, and I'll go put them in the freezer if we're having trouble, and we'll be able to know immediately. Usually freezing them for like 3 or 6 minutes, not 30 to 60 works fine, but we'll see. This is the cobalt green bluish. It's taped really well. Some scissor action. All right, is it stuck? Oh, not really. It's not pulling any of the paint off, just the tiniest bit of staining on the wax paper there. So we're good with this one. Cobalt green bluish. Isn't that beautiful? I don't know. The colors I chose were kind of random other than this one, Quin Gold, because it's a PO49 and I wanted it. Well, let me go ahead and get all of these open and we'll lay them out and see what they look like. They are all unwrapped and none of them stuck, so we are very lucky. We have Zirconium Blue, which is a PB71, Quin Gold, which is the PO49, which I told you about, Cobalt Green Bluish, PG19. I'm not sure why I got that, I think because the color was just gorgeous. Manganese Brown, which is a PBR8, which is a little bit more unusual, so I definitely wanted that. And the Lapis Lazuli PB29. I don't know, it looked pretty and I wanted a Lapis Lazuli. I'm excited for all of them, but I would say the Cobalt Green Bluish, Zirconium Blue, and the Manganese Brown are the ones that I am most curious about. Let's swatch them and see what they look like out on cotton paper. We are going to start with the Zirconium Blue. And I have Arches 100% cotton watercolor paper here, and I wet from the black line, or partway down the black line down. Got a little bit of water up at the top, and then I just swatch. Let's go ahead and use the smaller brush for the swatching. These usually re-wet beautifully. No surprise there. Get some more. A little more water, a little more paint. And a little bit of salt up the far right side. Next up is the Lapis Lazuli. Looks like it has some kind of mica floating on the top. That's interesting. Just says PB29. It's beautiful. So when I hit the water actually pushed back up that way into the pigment. Let me turn the studio lights off so you don't have that glare. It's very dark in here and now I can't see, but maybe you guys can see. So this is about as much effort as I would put into getting color out of a pan, which is about how I do all of the swatching. 2 to 3 layers. So no big deal there. Next is cobalt green bluish. PG19. Excited for this one. Whoa! That's great. So a little bit more bluer than some of the other PG19s I've used. So pretty. That only needs 1 coat. I just went over it twice. I didn't go get more pigment. I just spread it out some more. Very cool. Here we have the Quin Gold PO49. Beautiful, glowing color. Look at that. A little more water, a little more paint. Yeah, look at that, so pretty. Lastly, the manganese brown, the PBR8. This one's going to take a little more water. Okay. Whoa! That, I didn't expect it to be so strong. It felt like I was having trouble re-wetting it, but obviously there was plenty of pigment going on. So I'm not even going to grab more pigment. I'm just going to go through all this one more time and pull it down a bit. I got this one specifically because I love dark browns and I use them in my work all the time. There they are, all still wet. And I was going to leave them to dry, but then I figured I might as well use that last swatch card I have, and I'm using that with the manganese blue PB33. It's an absolutely beautiful color. And just in case you couldn't see the watermark in some of these swatches that I'm putting up as pictures on the screen, they are from Kim Crick's website, kimcrick.com. She has a comprehensive database of many pigments and many brands, and it's a valuable resource. They're so pretty, all dry. Zirconium blue, lapis lazuli. I did the manganese blue, as I said, because I just had that extra slot. And it's my favorite color of my entire palette. Probably followed closely by this one. Cobalt green bluish, the Quin Gold. So pretty. I love that this one shines through. It's a little bit more vibrant, I would say, than the Daniel Smith version, although I do also love the Daniel Smith version. And the manganese brown. Such a great dark brown. I want that in every palette. So here is my main Prodigal Sons palette, and I tried to put these in here where I could fit them. And if I take out these Schmincke Volcano Red and Volcano Yellow colors, which I only left them in here because they're so highly granulating, and this is a highly granulating palette, I can take them out though, because then this can just be pure Prodigal Sons. I can put my cobalt green bluish there, the zirconium blue here, lapis lazuli, Quin Gold, and manganese brown here, and it all still fits, which is great. So I will do that. I will update my swatch sheet, and then we'll make a painting with these. It's been a long time since I've used these. If you guys have missed any of these Prodigal Sons palettes, I will put the links to all the Prodigal Sons videos I have done in the description box below and in the iCards in the corner. So you can catch up with those if you want to first, or you can do it after this video. It really doesn't matter. I have a secret love affair with the gnomes. And so I thought they would be perfect for the new colors that we have. And I have a great idea, I think. So including the brown and the Quin Gold and the 3 blue-green, well, that's kind of a green-bluish, which is in its name. Imagine that. Anyway, let's just paint these gnomes, but I think I need a smaller brush than this. I have these two still out from swatching. I'm going to get out my Princeton Aqua Elite size 8. It doesn't look smaller than this, but if I get it wet, you can see that it is slightly smaller than the size 8 from the Lindsay brushes, and I could even use this tiny thing if I want to, or this Lindsay brush, which is pretty handy. So I'll leave these two small ones out. I almost never use them. I usually just use the tip of this one. But I am really excited about this because these are fun colors. So I may add in a bit of purple to this guy. I have an idea for his hat. So that is Cobalt Violet Dark, but the rest will be our new colors mostly. You know what? Actually, I think blue is going to be light enough. We can add that purple in after the fact, and it will be a lot easier. And that Cobalt Violet Dark is so granulating and non-staining. It lifted right up, which is great. I just realized also I'm right-handed, so I'm going to actually start on this guy so that I can do things more better. I think we're going to add some stars into this guy, which we do need to do now because we'll have to paint around them. This is the Quin Gold, and we can use the Manganese Brown for some of their skin tones. Such a dark brown, kind of a gray brown. It's really kind of cool. And we will offset that with some Quin Gold. Ooh, pretty. Liven that up. And I use the same two colors on the hands and the feet. That's the Manganese Brown and the Quin Gold. It's so pretty. And I want to give, even though it may offset the painting a little bit, I want to give this guy kind of a more brown beard because he's a bit younger, because he is giving the girl gnome a flower, and this may be the grumpy dad not liking that. So that's the plan. He's got a younger beard that's not all gray. And once again, I just used the Manganese Brown and the Quin Gold, and oh, that Quin Gold gives things such life. It gives a vitality to whatever you're using it on. And this guy's colors will be the Lapis Lazuli. And I thought I had it figured out how to not have my camera just autofocus. I put it on manual, so I thought. Obviously that didn't work, so I have some more learning to do and experimenting. I obviously didn't look at the right thing. Here I am using a second layer of the Lapis Lazuli to put over his hat and make wrinkles. This was a really fun part, and it does layer really well, so that's a bonus. Since I still have two gnomes to paint, I'm going to go ahead and speed through this one. I'm using the Quin Gold for more stars, Lapis Lazuli for the rest of his clothing, and then I explain to you what I am using when I paint the sunflower that he's holding that he's going to give to the girl gnome. This page is so fun. It just makes me very happy looking at it. We will add in a little bit of the Naples Yellow Light for the sunflower, or maybe probably the Naples Yellow Dark actually. This is the Mahogany Brown again. Manganese Brown. Sorry, manganese. And the Naples Yellow Dark was the perfect color for the sunflower. And then I used the Manganese Brown to do the stem. And then I just darkened up some shadows under his feet. Now we get to work on our cute girl gnome. And we'll start with her hearts using the Quin Gold. Once this big heart is done, I'm doing teeny tiny hearts, and you can see that I'm doing it successfully with that brush because I did not switch to one of the smaller brushes that I got out. I just love using that one. You can see it comes to a really fine point, and if you hear noise, Jack's in here with me. I decided to do the darkest parts of her braids with the Manganese Brown, which you'll see here in just a second. And then I did some of the highlights in the braids with that beautiful Quin Gold. I'm going to just keep saying it's beautiful. You're just going to have to live with that. And since I have two blues and then one cobalt green bluish, which is more green than blue, I decided to make the girl gnome have the more green color for her clothing. And so she is all cobalt green bluish. This is a really fun color to work with. It just can get super dark. You can make it as light as you want though. It has granulation, but it's not overpowering granulation. So I highly recommend this color for sure. And I'm going back to the Quin Gold and the Manganese Brown for the tassel of the hat. And then I'm dropping in the cobalt green bluish a little bit more thickly here to get a shadow under the brim of that hat, if you can call that a brim. It's more like a ruffle or a fluff. And then the rest of the hat's dry enough now that I can go back in and mostly get some pretty good wrinkles going for the hat, just using that same color and layering it. And I'm also bringing that cobalt green bluish down into her clothing. I am not changing the colors of the clothing. I am keeping each gnome kind of monochromatic, except obviously they have the beautiful Quin Gold highlights. Actually, I should probably call them accents because the first gnome has the star accents. This second gnome has the hearts because she's a girl and hearts are fun. Stars are fun too, but I really like the hearts. And then I used the mahogany brown to accentuate the shadows in her hair and to paint her belt. Dang it, I called it mahogany brown again. I've done that so many times. It's manganese brown. Manganese, manganese. Got it? Now for our last little gnome, we will use the zirconium blue. I'm really excited about that one. It's a very pretty color, and I just can't wait to see what it looks like here. Now, I was going to put the cobalt violet, remember, on his hat. Obviously, you remember that was only moments ago for you guys. It was more like 30 minutes for me, but still, I have kept to the colors that we have in the palette so far, and so I may just do the Quin Gold for him. So I'm thinking I should probably do that first and paint around it just like I did these two. Okay, let's do it. Now for a pattern, this guy just kind of gets some random swirly-roolies in his hat and clothing, and they're really fun. It kind of reminds me though of the stripes on my kitty cat in the previous video. If you missed that, I'll link that up in the corner for you. It's a pretty fun video. Well, it's a fun coloring book anyway. And in with the zirconium blue. First in this video, it looks pretty green, like maybe I accidentally hit the cobalt green bluish, but no, you can see here it is turning out to be more of blue than green. It's just a really unique color. It's very turquoise-like. I think it would be beautiful in an ocean scene, and I am actually really anxious to use this palette more. I'd like to try it in a more regular setting. When I first bought this palette, I bought it to be just some very specific, very special, highly granulating paint. But then I kind of picked up a few more full pans and made it a more well-rounded palette that I think I could probably get away with doing some regular paintings like seascapes. So I know I'm keeping this all sped up at this point, but this video is getting long and I don't want to bore you. You can see the main cool highlights here. Boy, I've got to figure out that camera focus thing though. That's the only bummer about all of this being sped up, is that camera changing its focus really becomes apparent, but hopefully you still enjoy the video anyway. Oh, this is a fun part. I'm adding some dark manganese. Hey, I said it right. I almost said it wrong, but I caught myself. Manganese brown around the edge to try and make some kind of vignette, and then giving the gnomes some shadows. All dry. Let's peel the tape and see if my vignette worked. Which is my dark edge around the outside, plus the shadows under my cute little gnomes. I love this tape, by the way. Good Meeden tape. Keeps its edge. It's lovely. Okay, yes. That worked great. They're so darn cute. Oh, I just love and adore them. They are so awesome. I'm trying to find my Sharpie over here. I must have it out somewhere already. I was going to sign my name, but this one is super thick, so I'm not sure I want to do it with that. I'll find my Sharpie here in a minute and sign it. So yeah, those are great color additions. I adore them. They are so pretty. The Quin Gold is absolutely astounding. Mahogany brown, super deep dark brown. These blues and the green bluish are just perfect. It is a great addition to the palette. Here's the updated swatch sheet. And that was one of the most fun painting sessions I've had in a while. Although I probably say that every time because I just love to paint. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. Check out Prodigal Sons on Etsy. I will link his shop below. I don't get anything for that. I just think they're fun colors, and he has some very unique, rare colors occasionally in his shop, so definitely check that out. All right, until the next video, bye for now. Jack, why are you so cute? He's done.
Look how symmetric his little chest thing is. What? His chest part. Oh.
You can't see it. His paws are in the way. There it is. So cute.